In our top stories tonight, Barbadians warned to brace for water outages due to low levels at a pumping station. Credit unions concerned about losing their links to some international banks. The latest tablets donated to the Education Ministry to benefit special needs students. And Shannon Gabriel transferred from the reserve list to the Windies test squad.
Newsnight Headlines was brought to you compliments Omega XL.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. Thanks for joining us this evening. In our top story, Barbadians in areas serviced by the Bowmanston pumping station have been warned to brace for intermittent outages. This as supply is being affected by low water levels. Lorna Jones has more.
It is not business as usual. We need to curb the way that we use water. We need to start looking at water differently. Water is like the new oil. So we need to stop wasting water. We need to follow the water authorities' tips.
The warning from Water Resources Minister Wilfred Abrams came after a tour of the Bowmanston aquifer. Low water levels caused by drought have forced the shutdown of the pumping station. Acting General Manager of the Barbados Water Authority, Dr. John Mwanza, explains this will mean intermittent supply for areas in St. John and other parishes.
Bowmanston pumps water into two reservoirs. It pumps water into the Bowmanston reservoir, and then we have a booster pump that pumps water to Golden Ridge Reservoir. And from Golden Ridge Reservoir, that water is pumped to Castle Grant. So when Bowmanston is not pumping at all, then also those people in St. Joseph, St. Thomas, who are saved by Castle Grant Reservoir, will also be impacted.
Dr. Mwanza says while they are hoping for an increase in rainfall, long-term solutions are in the works. These include a plan to direct water from Vineyard St. Philip, a project which is expected to be completed by December this year.
We have to put in a new pipeline from Vineyard right up to here. And we also have to construct a new reservoir at Mount Pleasant or Stewart Hill to be able to bring that water here, and construct two booster stations, one to pump water out of Vineyard Reservoir and one to pump water out of the Mount Pleasant Reservoir that we're going to construct.
Meanwhile, Minister Abrams says desalination must be included in the way forward.
We also engage in conversations with persons for the supply of industrial desal. Never was it our position that desal is not going to be a part of our solution. The only way to actually guarantee you have a steady supply completely without reference to anything else is actually to pull the water from the sea.
He says the BWA is currently looking to install 2 temporary desalination plants. Lorna Jones, CBC News.
Thanks, Lorna. One group has stepped forward to ensure special needs students are not left behind in the virtual education transition. The Robinson Smiles and Hope Foundation has donated several tablets to the Ministry of Education. Board member Maria Bradshaw says the presentation is its latest attempt to assist students. She also thanked everyone who made the handover a reality, including the donors to the GoFundMe account, which was set up by the foundation's creator, Julia Robinson.
Reached out to me and she said we have to help. There are so many children in Barbados who are not going to be able to afford the devices. She set up a GoFundMe page looking to raise $1,000. There was overwhelming response and she was able to surpass that number by $500. She partnered with a Google company and as a result was able to source these devices. As you can see, they're not the regular small device. They're pretty big, they're desktops. They're very user-friendly.
And Acting Chief Education Officer Joy Adamson accepted the devices, noting they will assist many students.
These tablets we identified Anthill and the Irvin Wilson School as two schools that would benefit greatly from these large tablets that will be positioned on the desk. What we are also aiming to do is to get some iPads, some Apple iPads that has a little bit more accessibility than the traditional tablets for the special needs children. So we are working with those children constantly, and the teachers, I know that the teachers for the special needs schools, they have gone beyond their regular duty because they actually have to take work for some of the students who are able to get online. What we also aim to do was to get some MiFi devices for the ones who didn't have the internet or have Wi-Fi accessibility, because the tablets that can hold the Wi-Fi device would have been too small.
Insurance companies in Barbados are doing their best to avoid a rise in motor insurance premiums, especially now that many people are out of work. However, General Manager of Cooperators General Insurance Anton Lovell says there's concern about the reckless behavior displayed by some motorists. He reveals there was a fall-off in motor vehicle accidents during the national shutdown due to COVID-19, which insurance officials hoped would continue afterwards.
Quite honestly, from the time the country opened back, we're getting the same level of careless accidents happening over and over. And we're just asking persons to be patient and to drive with due care and attention. We do a lot of programs where we talk about accident avoidance and prevention, and so we do a lot of that, getting out to individuals. But I guess we need to do a lot more. Perhaps even from the General Insurance Association part, the JAB, from that aspect too, if we can do more to educate persons of the dangers of these accidents, because persons' lives are being taken and injuries, serious injuries occurring to these people too.
Mr. Lovell was speaking to CBC News following a presentation of monetary vouchers to the Anthill School, the Dighton Griffith School Panthers, and the Household Mitigation Unit. Vouchers will also be distributed to households in neighboring communities like the Pine and Wildy. He says the company is very conscious of the hardship families are experiencing at this time and recognizes as a good corporate citizen it must assist. Well, more tributes are pouring in for Barbados and West Indies cricket legend Sir Everton Weekes, who passed away yesterday at the age of 95. The latest comes from opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley. Bishop Atherley says there are representations of the ideal Barbadian, and Sir Everton was one such manifestation. He says Sir Everton was the genuine embodiment of human grace, good-naturedness, and generosity of spirit. In extending his condolences to Sir Everton's family, Bishop Atherley pointed out that many find it a challenge to wear the robes of popularly acknowledged achievement while walking in the shoes of humility simultaneously. But Sir Everton was unbothered by any such challenge. Bishop Atherley says his sad passing is not only a loss to the cricketing fraternity and the Empire family, but to the entire canvas of Barbadian humanity. Churches in Barbados that were forced to close due to the COVID-19 pandemic have found novel ways to keep ministering to their members. Most, if not all, have been having online services. But one Calvary Temple Community Church has gone a step further, hosting the first ever drive-in church experience last Sunday.
2 years ago, the congregation of Calvary Temple Community Church, led by Pastor Andre Simmons, moved to this space at Groves in St. Philip. In addition to the much larger sanctuary that awaited them, the more than 3 acres of land on which the church now sits proved to be the perfect site for the novel drive-in church experience that Pastor Simmons and those closest to him envisaged. According to him, the timing was opportune since he was uncomfortable with the prospect of returning to in-person service after months of island-wide lockdown.
We wanted to offer people a safe and relaxed environment, our members, our visitors, safe, relaxed environment to come and join in public and communal worship to God. The second reason was to offer them an opportunity to do something that was akin to what we were used to, that Pentecostal, evangelistic, dynamic, invigorating, enlivening service. People miss that. You know, the online thing is great, but people miss that coming together and the evangelistic. So that was the second reason for doing it. And then the third one would have been to give them an opportunity to come together whilst maintaining the national protocols.
And last Sunday, when the first ever drive-in church experience was held, the response was overwhelming.
There would have been 90-odd vehicles out there, yeah. And you're talking about average of 3 people per vehicle. Some vehicles had even more modest figures. You're talking about close to 300.
Faye Murrell is the co-leader of the worship team at Calvary Temple, and they even developed their own way of worshiping inside the vehicles.
I would liken it to if you've been to Fardy Hill and you've been to One Awesome Day for Gospel Fest, that was the type of experience that it was. The outdoors, unfettered. So for me, it was easy. I was not nervous. It was good. I loved hearing the persons when they beat those horns and flash those lights in their amens and their hallelujahs. It was awesome.
Pastor Simmons says there were a few challenges with sourcing equipment, but those were quickly overcome. He says the congregation will return to in-person services later this month, and the second drive-in church experience, dubbed the sequel, will happen again next Sunday on July 12th.
She's no stranger to the Lions Club of Barbados, and after 36 years of active service to the Lions Club of St. Michael and moving through the ranks, Maureen Graham has been elected as the new district governor for Sub-District 60B. Ms. Graham took the oath in the presence of supporters earlier this week and received her credentials from International President Dr. Jong-Hul Choi during a virtual ceremony. She will be responsible for the 59 Lions and Leos clubs in her district, which covers the majority of the Eastern Caribbean territories, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and the Virgin Islands. Following the ceremony, Ms. Graham said her goal for her Lionistic year is empowerment.
For the year to help propel the entire district, we are using the theme, Building a Better Tomorrow Through Kindness. We figure that we need to get back to people. We need to make sure that the Lions engage in a good membership experience, because if we are strong in ourselves, we're going to be strong in what we do for the community. So 2020 is a year where, as we all said, it was a year with a lot of expectation. We spoke about vision, but it came. COVID came and COVID changed quite a bit. COVID showed us what vision really is. So now we have to step out of the box. We need to look at things differently. We need to use the new normal for our advantage.
Yet another Barbadian artist has launched new music during this COVID-19 period. Winston Farrell, also known as the Poet I Farrell, released his new single, I Cry. He hopes the track will shed light on several social issues.
Yes, we are focusing on the issue of gun violence, but in this time where we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and we are looking at how the direction in which we are going in terms of the COVID and everything else, all the other storms that are blowing in and around our teacup. Really, we thought it would have been a good opportunity to drop this particular track as a precursor to some other work, because I have been neglecting that side of me for a little while.
And tonight we start a new weekly series called This Is Who We Are. It's a chance for Barbadians to have their say on things you always thought about life in Barbados but never asked.
Barbados has some of, if not the most beautiful beaches in the world. But which ones do the people who live where others vacation prefer? Well, that's what we set out to find out.
This is my favorite beach, Browns Beach, and I really love it because it's one of the most beautiful beaches in Barbados.
Brandon, because Brandon is always, the tides down there will always be low and you can go as far as you want to.
I actually don't have a favorite beach. I have options. I like Bass Rock, Browns Beach, and anyone that I feel comfortable while I'm there. So like I have a bath and so on.
Browns Beach is a nice beach, and it's a wide area. You can walk from here about nearly 2 miles. Good exercise, best in the world.
What's your favorite beach?
Browns Beach.
Why?
Because the water is clear and not rough.
I like here at Browns Beach and further down at Pirate Cove. It has a crowd, but it's not generally too crowded.
Tell me about one of your fondest memories at the beach when you were a child.
I don't know. I can't pick one. I leaving and going for ice cream. But yeah, I love it. Puts me in a good mood and, ready to face the work week.
Let me ask you this. Can you swim?
Very, very well. Or as well as I believe I can. Because I may swim and then you may tell me baby he can't swim too good.
What is your favorite beach and why?
It's between 3 beaches for me, and that would be Brandon's Beach, Browns Beach, and Pebbles Beach. That's because all 3 of them are calm and the waters are very clear.
My top 2 beaches would be Pebbles and probably Sandy Lane. I mean, most beaches on West Coast are pretty good. I wish I could get to the beach at least once a week, but it turns out to be more like once every 3 months or something like that. So.
My favorite beach in Barbados is Browns Beach.
My favorite beach in Barbados will have to be the Hot Pot because it's warm and it's scenic and it provides like a relaxing sensation and a natural massage with the current.
Pebbles, because mostly it's got less people and I don't know, it's more like a picnic beach to me.
Tell me one of your fondest memories at Pebbles.
Nearly drowned. Nearly drowned just off the water park. I was learning to swim. I went and jump in the water, jump off a slab inside jump off the danger tank. Feel that I could stand up, and when I make the stand up, my foot in the taxi wrong. And finally I travel back to come and see it.
So whether it's Pebbles, Browns Beach, or my personal favorite, Brandon's, Barbadians agree it's the place to be. After all, the beach belonged to we. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Here is a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Policyholders should ensure that the sum insured on their property reflect the building cost as new. In other words, you should not under-insure your property. Cooperators General Insurance, helping you to be prepared this hurricane season.
Antigua and Barbuda is reportedly committed to investing millions toward the new LIAT. The conditions of the loan secured prior to the COVID-19 crisis require the borrowed resources be invested in the carrier. During a cabinet media briefing, Minister of Information Melville Nicholas revealed plans to reserve the LIAT 2020 Limited as the new company name. Antigua and Barbuda opposes the liquidation of LIAT 1974 Limited without a plan to create the necessary connectivity which regional integration requires.
We would have secured a fund of approximately $15 million that was designed to be injected into LIAT, but we had also said that that injection would only come on the condition that there would have been a restructuring plan for LIAT. And we did not anticipate, and we still did not think it was necessary for LIAT to go this particular route. But we are not the majority shareholder, and accordingly, the events that are unfolding are what is meted out to us. The funds are still available, they're still being held in escrow, and they will form part of the plan to restructure and resuscitate LIAT.
Mr. Nicholas says the question remains whether the shareholders will be the same, whether there will be buy-in to the new arrangements, and whether LIAT's name will be regenerated. The Bahamas reopened to international flights yesterday, welcoming over 400 travelers. Visitors say the process from testing to maneuvering through the Lyndon Pindling International Airport was fairly easy. Our News Bahamas reports.
When the rubber hit the tarmac just before noon at Lyndon Pendling International Airport, tourists on JetBlue's flight from Fort Lauderdale, the first international commercial flight in over 3 months, said it was good to get out of the U.S., even if just for a week.
My boat is here. My boat's here.
You couldn't wait to get back to the boat?
Couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. No, really, we love it here. We absolutely love it here.
Because we couldn't wait to come and see your beautiful beaches and know that you're safe. We're all tested before we take the planes. All the measurements are super responsible.
Despite resorts like Atlantis and Bahama remaining closed, Nicole, who is visiting from New Jersey, said she already had her dream vacation planned and is staying at another hotel on Paradise Island. She said she caught the first thing smoking.
We had it scheduled, so we just wanted to come and have a good time and be here. It's been in a while, yeah. I think well deserved.
I've come here and see my wife and kids, yeah.
Oh, nice. So what do you plan to do while you're here?
Probably swim a little bit and play some beach volleyball if we're allowed to.
However, for visitors like Jaime Galindo, who is only in town to take care of business, coming from a hotspot like Florida was concerning for him.
Young people are not listening. They're the ones that are getting sick. They're just not listening.
St. Lucia police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting of 5 people in Marigot late Tuesday. The victims include 3 males and 2 females. HTS St. Lucia reports.
Video footage shows the bodies of the victims lying on the ground. News Force was reliably informed that 3 males and 2 females were hit by stray bullets. The bullets reportedly ripped through the lower extremities of all the victims, who collapsed to the floor in pain. The community of Marigot also registered a shooting on Sunday, June 27th, that left 1 man nursing serious injuries. Now residents fear the rekindling of animosity as a result of brewing tension.
Even when we heard several gunshots, 5 people got shot, and it looks like it's a gang-related thing because the fellas have been assembling here, and it's a back and forth thing. So we just hope that thing ends soon.
The resident, who did not want to appear on camera, believes that the party was of no consequence to the shooting. Sources tell News Force that the gunman may have been targeting 1 individual. Unfortunately, the assailant opened fire indiscriminately on the group.
It wasn't related to that. It wasn't related to that. They just came, they were in the balcony, and then the shooters came there and they started firing shots.
According to sources, tension has been simmering between rival factions from the Marigot and Jacmel communities.
Police are also investigating a homicide in Bois Patat, Castries, mere hours after the shooting in Marigot. The male victim's body was found with apparent gunshot wounds.